on the governor's speech, but perhaps taking on this section discuss on school education. May I be given this opportunity to briefly highlight to the honorable members. In the first place, I also want to, along with the rest of my colleagues, congratulate our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Sri Yhome, for being given the honoris causa on causes of human resource development in his various career, and also the second clause of the causa on peace, which has brought forth to our state for development, peace as development, and development for peace. In general, I would just like to comment on the progress made on the governor's speech in regard to the school education. And I know this is a reference point for many of us that as long as we are here, we need to develop our human resources. And as our Chief Minister has been appropriately given the theme, his strive leadership towards the progress of our people in developing our human resources solely depends on our school education system also. So in that regard, I want to also admit to all our 60 legislators here who are representing the nook and corner of Nagaland State, representing the recognized 1,336 recognized villages, the 71 unrecognized villages, and the 100+ hamlets which are scattered all over the state. We know that we have school systems spreading to the nook and corner of the state. As far as 2024 data is concerned, we have 1,925 schools which are scattered all over Nagaland. We had categorized our schools into A, B, C, D. A with more than 75 students enrollment, B with 50 to what we call 74 students. C category is 1 student to 25 students, and therefore we have classified that again into 3 categories, C1, C2, C3. C1 being 1 student to 10 students, C2 being 11 to 20 students, and C3 being 21 to 25 students. And we realized that of the overall schools, the total number of schools having C category enrollment is 1,123. Outrightly, we find that in the D category, which is 0 enrollment, we have 157 schools with 0 enrollment. Why are there no students in our 157 schools? That is because we have teachers, but we have no students. Number 2, we have no teachers, and therefore we have no students. The progress which we are striving today is to rationalize our teachers, and this rationalization process is a very simple arithmetic. We pull out the surplus teachers from a particular school which is congested, infested with excess teacher, and put them where they are required. So for us, 2025 marks the year of Census India. Around this time of the year, next year, we will have the provisional data for census. And for us, we need to operate on census. And today, we are also inheriting a certain structure where we are having difficulty because we as India, as a welfare state, our job is to put what we call, as a welfare state, it is our job. The other question is, are we financially, our schools, are we actually profiting or are we not? Today, if we look at the overall number of teachers and students which are dispersed, we know that we have 131,613 students, and we have 18,140 teachers. This is an average of 1 teacher is available for every 7.25 students. And this, I would also like to bring to the notice of the House that since we have heard a lot from a particular district, from a particular region, it is not a justification or a clarification. But what we have done is that under 28 Koridang, we have 8 private schools and 19 schools compared to Along Taki, 6 private schools and 38 government schools. Together in Along Taki, we have 27 schools, whereas in Along Taki, we have 42. Teachers, private, we have 119 in private schools in Koridang, 54 in Along Taki. We have 247 government teachers in Koridang, 279 in Along Taki. All together, we have 366 teachers in Koridang and 333 in Along Taki. That is both private and public schools combined. Students, we have 1,003 in Koridang, 463 in Along Taki. We have 870 government school students in Koridang, 1,596 students in government schools in Alongtaki. Altogether, we have 1,873 government and private students in Koridang, whereas we have 2,059 private and government schools in Alongtaki. The average of Koridang, the teacher-student ratio is the lowest in the state. Every teacher is available for 3.5 students. If you look at the overall number of dispersion of teachers and students in the various districts, the highest is in the highest is in Mon. We have one teacher is available for every 13.9 of our students, whereas the lowest is in Mokuchun. One teacher is available for every 4.18 of our students. You look at the student-teacher school student ratio. It's 52 for every 52 students go to every one school in Mokchun, whereas in the private sector, 240 students goes to every private institution. If you look at the student-teacher ratio, in government schools, it is one teacher for 4.5, and as I said, in private school, it is one teacher for 14.3 students. This gives us an example of how the private sector and the government sector are playing in the role of educating and developing our human resources in the state. We also must acknowledge that we have divided all our schools based on linguistic area. So out of the 1,925, 153 falls under the category of urban. Near Rosatory Higher Secondary School, there is a primary school. Of course, the land belongs to Koima village. It is within the Angami jurisdiction, but we cannot call that as an Angami exclusive linguistic area. So today I would like to remind the House that we have positions in place in terms of staffing pattern. For every primary school, we are supposed to give 7 teachers. We are trying our best to provide the minimum so that whether you are in this urban or rural area, whether you are from this big or small village, or in the urban or in the rural, whatever, we are trying to give the minimum staffing pattern so that the public begin to trust us and bring our children back to our school. The most expensive school, or rather one of the most expensive schools, which the government of Nagaland is also spearheading a lot in terms of giving financial help, is the Sainik School in Pungwa. This year, their admission fee has gone up to 1,61,544 per student. If you look at the performance of our government's expenditure, which is both through central schemes as well as the state expenditure, we are spending about 1,93 students for rupees for all our students. So the per capita, expenditure on our students are very, very high. So today, what we are envisioning is to bring back our students from the private institutions back to our institutions, because rural poverty, household indebtedness, all these are linked to how every household is spending their expenditure on educating our children. So, Honorable Sir, allow me to also mention that we have difficulty in realigning our teachers because things are not clear, and without census we cannot operate. I am not here to justify, but I would also like to mention about the case of GMS Kensa. It is a GMS school. Last year the enrollment was 65, and we were able to pull out some teachers and redistribute. So naturally there were some protests, but we have 33 students, teachers there. So the capita is almost one teacher is available for every 2 students. I take the case of GHS Namentong. Here we had pulled out 2 graduate teachers because they are outrightly accessed, and I am to assure the honorable member that we have only one math teacher just now. Shortly, NPSC is under progress. We have put 138 science and math teacher for recruitment, out of which 66 are math teacher. So as soon as the results is out, which we are expecting by the end of this month, we will be very glad to put 1 teacher, because definitely JHS Namentong requires 1 more graduate teacher. In 1991, Honorable Sir, the census for Longland district was 67,000. In 2001, the census went up to 1,21,000, which implies in 10 years, 53,000 people were added to Longland district. In 2011, Honorable Sir, the census data for Longland district was 50,484, which implies that between 2001 and 2011, 71,097 were unaccounted. They just disappeared. So between 1991 to 2011, which is after 20 years after 1991 census, 17,219 people disappeared from Longland. I bring this to the House notice because Longland, Kekhrie, and Parent district together combined their census was 3,13,779, and whereas 10 years later in 2001, the census fell down to 2.19 lakh, which means around 97,000 persons were missing. These three places which I mentioned, they got their districts on January 2004, which implies that once they got their census right, they got their district. After they got their district, there was no necessary attempt to actually inflate their population, and therefore perhaps it came down to a very normal situation. We are unable to put students rationalization, teachers rationalization, because we need data. And today our department is very proud that we are able to clean up our data. We are able to find out how our children are performing. Not only our children, we are able to find out where our children are going. I take the particular case of Mokchung as an example again. Between 2022 to 24, 3 years, 6 students took migration certificate from our government schools after passing out class 10, which means about 6 of them are going for higher studies from our educational system, our government institution. Between the same year, from class 12, 41 took admission and went to other parts of the state, which means their migration certificate is necessary because they need to go outside the state. This gives us a pattern of how students are there in our government institution. 10 years data till last year, we have the data for the number of students who could not pass matriculation in Mokchung district. 506, unfortunately, could not be within our system. At such tender young age, they had to. So we know exactly where these 506 children are. It is very sad, but today we have to go down and pick up the following ones. So today the role of developing our human resources does not just imply bringing children to our school system, but also to look after our children and give them vocational training through all the departments which are giving all these facilities so that we are able to take care of our resources. I want to take the example of what we call a particular EBRC block. 2024, Stangratsa Government High School, 5 students passed matriculation. Longjang Government High School, 9 students passed HSLC. Mokonchuget 10, Kubulong 2, and Longchem 1. Altogether, 17 students passed matriculation from these 5 combined high schools which are near to each other. The logic here is we are spending more than 200 teachers for the 17 students, and in 1 year we are able to produce 17 students. So the idea that a school is doing very well, that it is getting 100% matriculation result, we should not be misled with this. And today I must say that the number of students who are entering our system are also there. We need to promote, but the number of schools which are there are too much. Schools which are there are too much. So today, under the honorable leadership of our CM, through the SLEC held on October 27 last year, we had literally closed down 120 schools. Through outright closure, which is 17 schools, through amalgamation or merger of schools, or through downgradation of schools. So this is allowing us to facilitate all this rationalization process. We recently transferred 1,650 teachers, and all these are accounted for. 1,073 are outrightly surplus teachers who are accessed in the schools. Out of these, 218 comes from the 210 schools which we had closed during the SLEC. And out of these, we had 58 math and science teachers who had to be redistributed. a math teacher, a graduate math teacher is posted in a primary school. That is unnecessary. We pull him out or her and give them to a middle school or a high school because we have shortage of math and science teacher. And out of the 1650 teachers, 223 we entertained the desired results of our legislature friends, and we were able to help facilitate the transfer and posting. Teachers, I had to defend my teachers. Many of them will never be able to go back to school again because they are carrying heavy diseases, heavy sicknesses. Then there are aged care, aging parents to take care of. We took into account all this and we entertained 78 which were coming from public and private through different organizations which were. So the 1650 students, teachers, which we had recently transferred, the Honorable Cabinet has been very kind to us. It has given us time to reflect, and we did not want to, and we know that it was also at a very crucial time because of the 40,469 plus 10 and 11 students were given exam. It came out during that time. 23,271 of our students are given matriculation. In no way, we do not want the Students' Union to disturb our schools, our examinations which were going on. As of today, out of the 1650, 1,192 have joined their new place of posting. 458 are yet to join. We have received 449 representation asking that these individuals will not be should or be reconsidered. So paramount to the Cabinet's recommendation, we are sitting over this month. So today what I want to bring to the notice of all of us is we are in the process of reforming. There are rules in place. We are not breaking any rules. We are using the spectacular systems which were put in place through the NCRT, through the best practices. That is the staffing pattern for every school. It is the desire of the School Education Department represented by our Honorable Chief Minister, who is the Minister in charge, that our legislators, our public organizations, you demand good teachers. You demand teachers in your schools. You make sure that our children are not dropouts. You make sure that people who are moving to other parts in place of migration in terms of urban areas, let them come back to their village and let them finish their schools in their school in the village. So it is my humble appeal that and I take this great opportunity because this recent order on rationalization, it has opened the Pandora's box. But this Pandora's box, I think it's an opportunity for us to understand that we need to publicly work together, that we all need to put our best efforts so that we bring back the glory of our, what do we call, under the Commonwealth system, New Zealand, Australia, which today produces some of the best schools in the world. We all inherited the Commonwealth system. Today, most of our schools are under government and public, but all these advanced countries, 80% of their schools are still government schools, and they are the best in the world. Today, I also want to bring to the, what we call, notice of our August House that about 800 are under government sector, private sector. About 2,000 of our schools are under government, which includes the state of Nagaland as well as some central schools. Today, we are all, as a federal state and as a democratic state, both private and public, they have opportunity to participate in the task of providing school education to our system. But I also want to make an appeal to this August House that there are no, and I repeat, there are no mission schools in Nagaland. And I said this because particularly in many villages, and I request all our honorable members to discuss with public leaders, to discuss with civil society, or to that extent even church bodies. The ruckus of opening school, like, I'm sorry to mention this, but like some kind of village shop. This has literally killed our school system. So today, the private sector also, they cannot meaningfully grow. Our government schools also cannot meaningfully grow. And I'm hearing lots of reports, especially by some religious organizations opening schools. They go back to their church, and I will not like to use the word extort, but they definitely exude and extol their church members to contribute money so that they can provide the salary of their teachers or build new buildings. Today, if you look at the overall, we have given provisional recognition to all our private schools in Nagaland, but very soon, with the cooperation of this government, we are going to take stringent matters into the law where we can no longer have non-quality schools operating in every nook and corner, which includes our government schools. So thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I would like to say that definitely with our SMILE application, I can guarantee the House that this is the best in the world. We have to answer the Honorable Achumbemo's agitation. The SMILE app is a real-time data stamp. So whether you have internet connection or not, it will represent real-time data stamping system. We are right now putting a geofencing of 25 meters from the school. Now, if they do not take attendance, definitely we are now able to digitally monitor the attendance of our teachers. So I can say that for a geo-technically challenged state like ours, we are able to monitor all this. And this, once we put in place, this will be another feather in our cap in alignment with our Honorable Governor's speech. Thank you so much, sir.
We come back to 3, the para number 3. 2 rounds of discussions have already been held, one in New Delhi and one in Yhome. Substantial progress has been made, and we are hopeful that any remaining concerns of the ENBO will be addressed. I don't know whether it will be appropriate to go into deeper discussion on this, because I'm aware that there are lots of sensitivity involved, and therefore I don't want to expand more on this, but I really fail to understand what do we actually mean by substantial progress, because we are all a part of the government, but as far as the running of the affairs of the state is concerned, we are, of course, it's only those responsible people who are holding the office will know better, and therefore this needs more expansion of the ideas if there are any progress on this. Let me come back to para 10 of the Governor's address. It's about soil and water conservation. I raised this in the last assembly also, about the revegetation of the coal mining area. My village, Mekokla, is one area where there are lots of massive coal mining is taking place, and the life of the villagers are at stake. And therefore, I would like to again reiterate that more ideas be generated how to revegetate, and if there are schemes in this regard, people have to be made aware and more investment will be made to revegetate the areas which are being already spoiled. Let me come back to para 15. Of course, we were informed that discussion on this oil exploration will take place. I will not go into further detail on this, but as far as this issue is concerned, the geology and mining, especially the oil exploration, there are lots of opinion arising out of this, and very often we keep referring that most of our oil deposits are in the disputed area belt. Well, I have stated this umpteen times that only when the government of Assam pushed all these illegal immigrants in the periphery, in the border areas, it all became disputed area belt. Otherwise, from the British time, if you go back to the 9-point agreement, all these are our lane only. But government of Assam pushed all these illegal immigrants in the border areas because they know the gray area. They know that there is a oil deposits. And therefore, while the government of Nagaland is exploring on to reach an understanding with the government of Assam, while that effort is being pursued upon, I would like to insist that not even an inch of a land be surrendered, because these are historically belonging to us. And Assam is actually desperately trying all the post-border area development in the border areas because they know that there's a rich oil deposits, and therefore they are pushing all these illegal immigrants to occupy our land, and for which I would like to urge upon the government that we have to be careful in our approach to the disputed area belt. Actually, in our context, there is no disputed area belt. Honorable Deputy Speaker said, it is the creation of Assam. Recently also there were problem in my constituency at Yhome village, just last week. Some of our people have established petrol pump. And the CRPF, the so-called neutral force, it is a part of the 1972 interim agreement. But it is being controlled by government of Assam. The DIG of Assam controls. And these so-called neutral force are in support of the Assam settlers, the illegal settlers. And they were the one creating problem. So therefore, we also need to revisit the 1972 agreement. Last time I raised questions, but that was not entertained because it is still prejudice. It is in the code of law. Let me come back to para number 27. It talks about the urban local bodies. Yes, we have really exhibited by increasing the women representation in the urban local bodies from 33% in theory to 37% in practice. And that's no mean achievement. I think we have really proven ourselves that given the situation, Nagas really respect our women folk, and we hold them close to our chest and also involve them in our decision-making process. Well, interacting with the 16th Finance Commission this time, when they visited sometime in the month of December, November, I forgot, but somewhere last year, I guess, I was presenting that the state of Nagaland, because Nagas did not participate in 1952-57 elections, only after the 1960 16-point statehood agreement, that also interim period for 3 years, then statehood came into being only on the 1st of December 1963. So we have missed the planning of nation planning, 2-3 stage of planning. So it is difficult for the state of Nagaland to catch up with the rest of the states in India. And the chairman of the 16th Finance Commission was commenting that this 16th Finance recommendation will be more on the development of the urban areas. And since we have already held the election after 20 long years, the 16th Finance Commission target is more on the ULBs. I hope more funding will come, and we will emphasize, apart from the rural, developing the rural areas, our urban areas also need some facelifting exercise. Let me come back to para 29. This has been talked a lot about school education. I don't want to dwell further, but the recent initiative of the department, I'll not go into the transfer and posting, that has been dwelled upon, let me not repeat. The application of this SMILE, Smart Attendance Management and Informative Leaves. I think this is a very interesting and innovative idea being propounded by the department. But I'm afraid, Honorable Deputy Speaker sir, that as far as Nagaland is concerned, you see, our network is such that you have all the companies here, Airtel, Aircel, BSNL, Vodafone, Reliance, but there are places, mine is a headquarter, Pandari, but the network is so bad. Now, if you impose this SMILE app in the rural areas, what happens? Honorable Deputy Speaker said, I don't think the desired result, the target which has been intended by the department, I don't think it will yield that result. The intended result will not be achieved. And therefore, while appreciating that move, yes, of course, we cannot remain static. We have to be dynamic in all our government functionings. I understand that. But if this can be, for the time being, only implemented, focused in the urban areas, and in the rural areas, we still have the Communitization Act where the school management committee is being instituted in all the villages. So if we can go back, revisit there, again the communitization, where the village councils and the school management committees are being empowered to check the attendance of the teachers. Now what happened is, why there is less enrollment? There are a lot of speakers have emphasized on that. One of the major factors which I found is there is no sufficient teachers. And when there is no sufficient teachers, the parents are afraid to send their children to the government schools. And that is one of the main reasons, let us say, one of the main reasons in reducing the number of enrollment in the government schools. Otherwise, we send all the capable teachers as far as government schools are concerned. So therefore, but one factor is that the government implemented the direct payment of the salaries. So even if the teachers don't attend to their duties, they are being paid. By the time the month comes to an end, they get the salaries. So there is no check and balance. So I would suggest that the rural area, be the village council and the local bodies may be re-empowered again by doing away with the direct payment of salaries to the teachers. I think that will strengthen. As far as the urban areas are concerned, I'm reiterating, the SMILE app can continue if it is functional and if it is possible. Let me come back to para number 32. I think we should appreciate where it is due. We must acknowledge that the Ao Baptist Church in Dimapur and Mokokchung have come forward to support more than 1,000 beneficiaries who are undergoing TB treatment. I think this is a very positive step forward by the church. The church has made a role to play in our society. We all are in one way or other a member of a church. And it is a big society, a big organization. And therefore, I think church coming forward to help this kind of thing, it is very encouraging, and we must put on record our appreciation on this. Let me come back to para 40. I'm a little upset, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. My question got lapsed. The question was the number 3 in the first hour because of the time duration. It could not reach. I've raised a question on the ILB. On the 25th edition of the Hornbill Festival attracted 205,968 attendees, including 2,527 international tourists and 56,217 domestic tourists. I guess what the government meant by domestic tourists means citizens coming from all over India. Maybe this is minus Naga domestic Naga people. So the revenue which was shown to me, I was asking the revenue of the ILB during the closing financial year, the fiscal year 24-25. It was shown only 5,255. I'm very weak in mathematics, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. I know only how to count votes, so very difficult to calculate money. But even if you calculate this by 200 rupees, according to the government circulation, if a person is asking for ILB for 30 days, it is 200 rupees. Now, if this all, I don't know what is the procedure, but if the domestic tourists are also if they are to be given ILB for the Hornbill Festival, we should be getting not less than 50 lakhs, even from this, during the Hornbill Festival time itself, Honorable Deputy Speaker said. So I don't know how comes it is only 36 lakhs the whole year collection. So anyway, since the question got lapsed, I don't want, I was having a lot of supplementary questions, but unfortunately our Honorable Deputy CM in charge of Home was down with flu. He could not be also present. Otherwise, I have lots of supplementary questions. So I don't know how do we recollect this, and let me go a little bit on this, that the government notification on the ILP implementation in Jumagidima, Dimapur and Newland. I have a concern that we have a permanent settlers of Biharis, Marwaris, even Muslims for that matter. I think those days even one Muslim was elected as a member from Dimapur, from the general quota. like that. So we are not against any religion. We are talking about illegal immigrants. And therefore, while implementing that ILB in these 3 districts, especially Dimapur, Jammu and Newland, we should also give due safeguard to the original settlers of this area from long before, and identify those people who have recently migrated to these plain areas. If you see the record, in 1997, when Indrajit Gupta was the Union Home Minister, he has stated in the Parliament, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, you are aware that in India there are about 10 million illegal immigrants, and out of which you will be surprised to know, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, 4 million are in Assam. Now, where these people are, where will they go? The immediate threat is Assam. But anyway, since that is not a part of the, my question got lapsed, I don't want to go into detail, but these are the concerns that I have. And therefore, we have to be smart, careful in protecting our land as well as our people. Lastly, I would like to appreciate para number 45, the government, for initiating the Nagaland Super League football. I think Nagas are a football lover. This will go a long way. We have discussed a little bit during the 0 hour where my friend Dr. Atto has raised about the Gram Tak Siva, where unemployment rate is going up as far as our Naga youth are concerned. And to engage our Naga youth, sports is one very wonderful avenue, opportunity for our youth, and this will go a long way in also keeping our youth busy, keeping them away from alcohol addiction, keeping them away from drug addiction. Not the last but not the least, para number 47, I'll conclude, one of the speakers. My friend Joanga has raised about the reservation. I have raised this question in the last assembly. No action taken report has been seen so far. I don't know how the government is acting upon on this, but as far as the reservation quota is concerned, it is time that government should come up with a policy which will benefit all sections, all strata of the Naga society, not only a few tribes or a few sections of our areas, our land. And therefore, I would like to pitch about, I would like to insist that that has to be taken up seriously. Thank you for the time given.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise to make my concluding remarks in the discussion on the motion of thanks to the Governor's address in this House, which was delivered on the 3rd March 2025. At the outset, I would like to thank all the honorable members who have participated in the discussion. Of course, every member cannot be given a chance to speak in such discussion for want of time. However, let me say that even the honorable members who have not spoken during this discussion are also participants in the discussion to be a good and attentive listeners. There is not much point being a good speaker unless there are also attentive listeners. Therefore, I thank all the honorable members. I thank the honorable members who have participated in the debate of Governor Address, led by Mr. Mkong Imchen and Nimni Konyak, Nuglutoshi, Achumbemo, Nishito, Yunga, and Dr. Maru, Tien Manem, Kekhrie, Yhome, and Achumbemo. I will not go into all the details, but all the members had appreciated the Governor address and then extend their support to the discussion. Though Achumbemo spoke the last, since he has spoken the political issues, Naga political issues, I will start with that. Well, and many other members who had also touched on the Naga political issue, which is number one top priority agenda of the government. He had bring out the issue of integration of Naga contiguous area and also Nagas as per 16-point agreement kept in the External Affairs Ministry. I appreciate this concern, but at length, this need to be deliberated in the parliamentary committees or even inside the house or at the committees which can be set up to discuss on Naga Political Affairs Committee. We have not been very clear how many times we had adopted the integration, in support of integration. I believe we had passed integration of Naga inhabited areas for integration. 8 resolutions were passed, adopted in this Nagaland Legislative Assembly. First was on 12 December 1962. Second was 28 August 1970. The third was 16 September 1994. And fourth was 8 December 2003. That is during my tenure. And 5th July 2015. 6th 20th September 2018. 7th 18th Feb 2021 and 3rd August 2021. So there is a keen interest of the integration of Naga contiguous area, and pending Naga political issue not being resolved. It is a serious concern for the Naga people who are living in the state of Nagaland. And therefore, appreciate all people who have passed so many resolutions in consultation with the civil societies and tribal hosts and prominent leaders, including our ex-parliamentarians. This will continue to be discussed and consultation will take place. And the present interlocutor, A.K. Mishra, we want Government of India to be more sincere as per our resolution. And lately, they have been coming to Nagaland, I would say on notice on several occasions also, meeting individuals or organizations, and then we don't know the exact status, but I intend to meet him with my cabinet colleagues in good time, and also I'm looking forward to meeting Union Home Minister to discuss about the Naga political issue after consultation with our Naga nationalist groups. We are seriously concerned that we cannot continue in a stalemate like this. it is a desire of the Naga people that at the earliest solutions comes about, which is honorable, inclusive, and acceptable to the people. In the discussion, many people had come out with the school education department on the transfers and rationalization exercise taken place. I'm happy that Mr. Kekhrie had at length explained to us, and I appreciate the Department of School Education for taking exercise to bring it to a system. But over the years, we have created too many mistakes, and that has caught up with us, and then we are in a mess today. Therefore, it will take time to bring into the system. And as you remember, this school education, over the years, we don't have qualified people. And so, particularly ENPO area, they wanted that they don't have qualified teachers, so they are being exempted and then extending. And so in the ENPO area, situation is even worse. We have teachers, but not qualified. And so we are having problem. Like maths and science teacher, or subject teachers who are not there, though we have excess teachers. And therefore, they have done some exercise where schools, there are no enrollments, or there are single-digit enrollment, or teachers are more than students. Those, as mentioned, dropping the school, closing the school, and rational exercises for transferring the excess teacher to the needed schools has to be done. But transfer posting can be relocated, and as state level committee we should make exercise, and district-wise, in consultation with the honorable elected members, if we can work with the education department at the district level where you represent, I think we can do more justice to ourselves and to the people. Why I said census is the culprit which has messed up in all our systems, including school education. And many departments, I don't want to say, I think I have left out Dr. Sakato names. I'm sorry, but all who have spoken, I really appreciate, and your endorsements. Coming back to census, as we all know, but let me remind ourselves, and also to educate our community. Census in Nagaland 2001, as mentioned, is 19.90 lakhs. And when I took over government at 2003, we found that the growth rate is too high and that we refuse to accept the census growth rate. With the support of civil societies, tribal hosts, churches, and the commitment of our enumerators and the government officials, we conducted 2011 census, which turned out to be 19,79,000. So that means after 10 years, decadal growth rate was negative. More than 11,000 population became less. That is a negative growth rate of minus 0.06. This is the only state, Nagaland, in the country with a negative growth rate. And all India growth rate is about 18%, 17, 18 up to sometime 20 plus also, but it remains 18 to 20. Nagaland in 2001 census, the growth rate was 67% growth rate. It is not acceptable. And at that point of time, Government of India had passed a law, right to education. And therefore, when you have that much of population, you can open primary school according to your population, upgrade your school to primary to middle school, or middle school to high school. And with the population, the education department may take the exercise. And so many teachers were appointed. And so, teacher-student ratio became, for Nagaland, 1:7. The other day I was talking about 9, but the ratio is 1 teacher, 7 students. But at the national level, it is 1:30. 1 teacher, 30 students. So today we have about 19,000 teachers. We need less than 10,000. That means double the number. That's how nil enrollment teachers, school closed down, teachers have to be redeployed. So there's so many confusion in that. Since Dr. Kekhrie, Yhome had explained, I will not go into detail, but since we had kept in hold a state level committee and a district level verification in consultation with the officers and the elected members, let us all try to correct the wrongs we have done. That tells us that the whole Naga, as Honorable Member Nimne was telling, maybe the society, we had not been very honest in census maybe to gain or to take advantage of many things. But the biometric is coming, so will be caught. So I think that will make us a better persons. In regards Foothill Road, in the questionnaire, question number 1, I have elaborately explained, so I will not further explain, but you still have some concern. I will see that the department with the honorable member, minister, to do justice to all concerned, and that Foothill Road, we call it Trans-Nagaland Highway. It's a Trans Highway. But it is still in trouble, so I will not take more time to talk on that. One issue, Engineer Junga had mentioned about reservation policy. This I have stated earlier also, and when ENSF had demanded more reservation, I told them that only after census, next census, 2011 census, means next census was 2001 was supposed to be the census, and the whole country had done. Only 1-2 states with us is remaining. And people don't want to do census again. And some even went to the court not to do census. And also we could not conduct. But sooner or later, census, the whole country will do census, and after the census, delimitation will come. This discussion has started in the south, and this will catch up with us. So we must be mentally prepared, and we should do most accurate census this time. In this reservation policy, we will not do piecemeal. When census is conducted, then the whole state will have a total review of reservation policy. Who should be in the backward reservation quota, or who should be out from there? Or even new areas can be taken under that also. But this will be thoroughly studied. I fully agree with Engineer Junga. A reservation should not be as a tribe. It should be on their economic status or educationally backward. Disadvantages. So we hope that this will be done when the census, a better census, is done in our state. Then, our health and family welfare, many had appreciated about the Chief Minister Health Insurance Scheme, and also Dr. Otto's mobile operation theatre, which travel around in the equipped ambulance with all the required medicines and doing operation, giving treatments in difficult areas, outside places like Kohima, Dimapur, Mokokchung, but in more difficult areas at free of cost. We're appreciative and we're grateful. Government had sponsored his equipments and contribution from doctors, nurses, and supporters, well-wishers also helping him. We thank him for doing this, and it brings a very good name not only to himself but to the elected members. That elected members can also this kind of humanitarian services, Yhome services. Thank you. In regards to our youth and sports, there are many appreciation in the comments over the governor's speech, for which I am very much encouraged, and all the honorable members giving support and encouragement. And that's why this is a collective achievement. I appreciate all the honorable members, particularly in sports. After a long time, our Paralympic medalist, bronze medalist, Okato Otogie, the government gave recognition as committed in our manifesto and adopted as a policy for the state. We give him a state had given a check of 1,50,00,000. 1,50,00,000, yeah, 50 lakhs, because of his medal in recognition of his service. He's not only a sports personnel, he is an army man, and he went to war and he lost his leg. But he continued to pursue his ambition and he became an Paralympic medalist. A huge name for us. Dr. Tiao, the first free India independent, 1958, captain of Indian football team, went to London Olympic, which shows that Nagas have talent. We need some kind of discipline and determinations and commitment. We have talent. We need to coach, train, so that we can win many medals. Manan also mentioned about how we had achieved in the Northeast Olympic or even in national games, we had achieved many medals. I used to remind our people, sports persons, because of our Naga movement and political issue, we have not given much time for sports activities or creating opportunities for the youth. I'm not boasting, but when I took over as Chief Minister in 2003, in 2004, after 41 years of statehood, Nagaland got into All India Olympic Association, affiliated. Only then we start playing national games. After 41 years of statehood. And our players, so they were playing for other states. and they have no platform to play, even if they were talented. Today, we are going to host Asian Belt Wrestling in Kohima. Date is not yet fixed, but this game, bell wrestling and even Naga wrestling, will be exhibited. And even in this, women's also will participate. As you appreciated, we had launched the Nagaland Super League football games, most popular game, on 28 January this year in Achumbemo, and the game is getting much popular, and this will end at the last week of March this month. And spectators coming in large groups, and every game is telecast on live. So if you're busy, if you don't go to the ground also, you can see online. You can buy a season ticket. You can buy box, and you can enjoy the atmosphere in the ground. I encourage you to watch in the ground. I'm grateful to some honorable members of this house going to grace the occasion and watch the games. I want all of us to witness live in the ground. Like this, as I had assured, in 1 or 2 years, we'll create all the AstroTurf with Yhome slide football ground in all the districts. We must have 2 grounds in a district headquarters. One solely for the football games, because the international standard AstroTurf and Yhome slide is required. We should have a same play level. One playing in the grass, one playing in the mud, and one playing in the AstroTurf will be different. In all the required coachings are being given, and a lot of qualified referees also coming. So I hope our youth will take advantage and promote the sports, because this sports is the shortcut, the shortest cut to fame and to become a superstar. And lots of benefits are there. Today you are playing Nagaland Super League. Each player in one season, they have to be paid money. Each tournament, they have to be paid money. Each game, there are prizes. And the best player, the Golden Boot, will get one Toyota car, and the other one will get a Kia car, and some bikes are also there for different. Under 19s are promoted in every tournament. In every club, there has to be under 19 boys and minimum numbers of players to play. And in prize also, the seniors has separate prize and youngers under 19 has separate prizes. So an opportunity for our youth. Now, coming to our other issues, geology mining. Government of India had announced a mission for exploration of minerals, of critical and rare earth minerals. So in this, in all the states, these were looked at. And Nagaland has a rich oil and natural gas deposit in the western part, and mostly rich minerals like nickel, cobalt, lithium. All these are more on the east. So as government also had made announcement, we're in touch with them, and at the earliest, when I go to Delhi, I'll take the department for further discussions to explore and exploit these minerals, because this will bring a huge revenue for our state. Our people want development, all kind of development, but if we don't have revenue, we are still seeking grant, and particularly from 16th Finance Commission also, when we met them, we asked for revenue grant. Up to more than 10,000 crores, because we cannot pay salaries, pensions, debt servicing. We don't have money to do what we want. Now our internal revenues has gone up to from single digit to 13%. There is a huge increase. When I give my budget presentation, all this will come. I will not further elaborate, but these are a few things. And so, together, oppositionless government were serving our people, and whatever you have comment or also given your advices will be addressed. Whatever you said has been noted, and therefore I will not dwell on individual queries or reply to those things. And therefore, since I will not go into details, I will give my comments. I've given my comments, and only with these concluding remarks, may I request the House to unanimously adopt the motion of thanks to the Governor address as moved by the Incom L. Imchen and seconded by Duglu Doshi and Sri Y. Hamzoy. Thank you. God bless.